Charles D. Stately, and I was born in Red Lake, Minnesota, and I'm Anishinaabe from Red Lake Nation and White Earth Nation. And my dad's mom is Oneida. She was full-blood, so I'm also a part Oneida. So when I was growing up, I don't remember doing a lot of traditional things because we lived in the city. But I remember my mom used to go up north and then they'd come back with smelt, or they'd come back with fish. And a couple times we went fishing in that lake. And then as far as making wild rice, or going to get any berries, or going to get any maple syrup, we didn't do that. We lived in the city. I learned how to bead. I went to boarding school for 4 years and I learned how to bead at the boarding school. Other boys taught other boys how to bead. And then we got beads and we made things. I was working on different bead things. So when I got back to the city and went to high school, I made beaded bracelets and watch bands and things for people, and they could decide what color they want. I designed them. So in high school, it's kind of a part-time thing where I would just make beadwork for people. And that's how I got this. My job here is at the Indian Center is the guy who owned the store, another Indian man that owned the store. He said, do you want to work for me? After I sold him some beadwork. So I was like, I was 21. I like, sure, I don't have a job. I'll work for you. So then after working a while, like maybe 6 months, first the job was only for 2 months, but after 2 months he said, you gotta stay on, you should buy this place, you should do this. His name was Bob Larson, and he's from Leech Lake, I think. So he's like, you should buy this store, you could do this. So I decided, I'm 21, I don't have a lot of money. He's like, just get a loan. So we went through the process, me and my mom, bank, and got a loan, and then I bought a store. So I was working here every day since I was 21, and I bought the store when I was 22, and let's see, in November, this next month, I've worked here 35 years.
Oh.
Went by pretty fast.
Yeah.
When I got to boarding school, there's a lot of Indian kids there, and I got used to the situation and the education and then the system. And I thought, well, after a while, I thought all Indian kids went to boarding school.
So can you show me some of your jewelry?
Okay, some of the things that I made these, and then I made them 2 different ways, but this is kind of what they like to do now, jewels or mirrors with the rhinestone. That's kind of new. These are popular. I just had time to make those. Most of the time I spend fixing things or getting things ready. And then most of the time I'm also deciding, people want me to buy their items, and then I decide, try to give them what they want for them and how much things are going to be, and then get them ready for people to buy, have them displayed. And then most of the time people know me from going to the powwow, where we set up a store. We have like a booth, a stand, they call it, and we do a lot of business at the powwow now. Most of my time is spent evolved around working the store and then going to powwows, and then sometimes it's not as much. That usually the powwows take up the whole weekend, so there's not a lot of room for ceremony, other than the dancing and the socialization, and then it's also business. So that's most of my time is doing that. My children have the exact opposite upbringing that I did, whereas they had cradle boards, they were in cradle boards, they sing, they dance, they had regalia, they have regalia. We're working on their stuff all the time. They're doing the language, they're learning the language, and then they're going to private school. They're actually very smart, and they're kind of a little bit different upbringing from mine. Whereas we bring these, we look for these things and we bring them back into our everyday life. And they speak some Ojibwe and some Dakota because their mom's Dakota, so they know They know a lot. They know mostly what everybody else does, plus themselves and, you know, our people, our language, our culture. I can understand sometimes, but it's hard to, when you don't do the language a lot, to formulate a sentence is really hard because it's a complex language. And then when our parents didn't learn, our parents didn't learn, and then the kids don't learn. And that's another thing that they think is, you know, just a cycle of getting us away from who we are. I'm pretty lucky. I get to work with people, all natives, mostly natives, work at this Indian Center. I'm in an American Indian community, and I'm always involved with the American Indian community or the powwow, and I don't usually have to worry about being outside of my own community or my own people. So anybody that happens to come to the powwow and they're not familiar with it, I'm already kind of involved in my own community, and then they're asking us, you know, how we do this, what does this mean, what's this for? They're asking us, and they're already interested, so I don't have a lot of contact with the greater America unless they're already interested in what we're doing.